And these are your suspension rods. From the top of the washer and a long rod, here's your dampener springs, and your rod is right here. And you have 4 of these.
Maytag commercial
corner.
advertisement. Automatic water level feature.
Large capacity washer, large tub, high volume of water, not including the saturation of the weight of the clothes. Pressing down on this rod and spring. And this is suspended off of these 4 rods. And so this tub will shake violently depending on how much clothes you're washing. And this is the gearbox, which doesn't have a transmission. This is the gearbox. And this entire unit, when it fails, you have to replace the entire unit. But these are the suspension rods that are used to counterbalance and balance the heavy load and torque, which easily wear every 2 to 3 years.
Maytag commercial advertisement. Automatic water level feature. Gearbox, drive system, noise, knocking noise, suspension weak, this unit will go out of balance very easily based off of the suspension being sloppy or weak. With this amount of water, not including clothes, easily cause this to go out of balance. This suspension design has 3 rods or 4 rods. 1 rod there, 1 rod there, and you have the other rod here in each 4 corners. And so this rod design that supports the outer tub and the weight of your full load in addition to clothes, it will easily cause this to go out of balance, in which your loads are not being completed consistently. replacing the rods would be about 1/4 the cost new, close to half the cost new for what you can buy these for, and it's non-guaranteed that the new components will resolve the outer spin balance. If this is being used in a commercial setting, this is a residential design advertised as a commercial technology. And with the automatic water level, this is where it fills up large capacity. The pressure switch allows that much water to enter into the unit without any clothes in there. The consistency of running this constantly in a commercial setting will cause this machine to fail often due to the suspension system. And the suspension rods are not designed in mind of rigid stiffness if you're using this to wash large towels or large blankets or large fabric items. The weight will cause the suspension to get weaker and weaker. Replacing the old suspension may give you another 2-3 years out of it, and this unit is already at the turning age of which replacement is recommended after 5 years. So if you're using these units in a commercial setting, it stands to reason that you would have to replace your suspension rods every 3 years, 3 to 4 years. It will be more recommended to have a front loader design versus this Maytag Whirlpool GE design. This is a GE style, Frigidaire style suspension. Water consumption, very high. This holds about at least 40 gallons of water, in which your front loader would be probably half that. And this is without a load, and this has a automatic feature and so with no clothes in there, this shouldn't have filled up that high. Maybe 1/4. Now the gearbox for spin, this doesn't have a transmission. It has more of a gearbox design for spin and agitation. And with the weight of the clothes, the initial spin, torque would be questionable. One-piece agitator. weak suspension would be the cause of this replacement, and the frequency using this in a commercial setting for the replacement of the suspension every 2 to 3 years. Once that gearbox goes bad, then it will be basically an automatic replacement, because the gearbox is price and retail cost of the component is half the cost new, just for the part. Those parts run about $200, $300. You can buy these units for about $700. You can actually buy this design for about $400, but you'll pay extra because it says commercial, which really has no weight as far as quality, because the design is still a residential design marketed as a commercial washer. Control panel discrepancy is that this push button always gets depressed into the housing of the front panel, and so the mount usually isn't that good, and you can see how it goes behind the panel, the console, in which it's supposed to sit flush on the outside of this. So that's another discrepancy for this design. So without a load, washer fills, agitates, drains, and spins. With the load, the weight of the clothes, it has a weak suspension, will cause this to go out of balance frequently, which would then shut down, and the unit will still pump the water out, but it will never go into a high RPM spin. Due to the out of balance and the centrifugal spin of the clothes.